Okay, mic check. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is really hot inside my house today. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you guys are having a good week so far. Today, instead of playing, we are doing open reviews because I have an interview in an hour and I want to make sure that I am ready and available. So if you would like a game review, let me know. Welcome everyone new that is joining. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It is not my plan, but I'm starting to wonder if it'll work out that way. Hello, Yellow Rose. It was not my plan to be the only event, but I'm moving next month, and apparently a lot of the tournaments I normally attend are next month, so we shall see. I don't think so. I think there's still another tournament in Chicago that I'll be attending either in March or April, probably March. So I don't think so. I do not think so. But Go Congress is the big one that we are prepping for. Thank you for the follow, Slack and
just followed.
I feel like I'm slacking off when I'm streaming. May. Yeah, I am going to try to go to that one. Yeah, I am going to try to go to that one. It is open reviews for the next hour until the internet starts. Yeah, come out. Sorry, I said the interview starts. The interview starts in an hour. What's the other one in Ohio? It's the one south of Columbus. When does that one happen? Karen, what's the one south of Columbus we went to? Okay. Is it Mason, Ohio? The 2 hours south? Yeah, that one we should go to as well if it happens on a good time. Cincy. Cincy or Mason?
Yes, it's Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, Mason, Ohio. Okay. I feel like that's two different words.
Well, it's the same way that it's the Evansville Club, but it's like an outside city. It's not in a big city, but
okay.
It's in the city.
Okay. I'm sure what you're saying makes sense to someone. It's called the Cincy Tournament, located in Mason, Ohio. You know, this is why they call New York, New York. Where? New York. Where? New York. New York. All right, it is open reviews. If someone would like a game review, we're doing open reviews for the next hour until our interview with Paul Barcelona starts. Opposite problem. Yeah, I guess as someone who's not from there, probably it is worse. I kept, when I was in Korea, I kept getting asked what city I was from. And I kept saying Tennessee. Because I knew they weren't going to know where my city was. I'm like, what city are you from? I don't think you understand how maps work. You don't understand how big my country is.
Review started.
We've stolen a lot of land. Okay, are you black or white? You are white, and give advice on how white could have played better. Okay. Fix your cuts. Fix your cuts, fix your cuts. With 2 stones, you want to treat it like it's an even game. You're just 1 move behind. So don't go crazy. You don't really do anything abnormal until it's like 4 stones or greater. You just play like you're a move behind or 2 moves behind. Touch equals respond. Typically it's Novi, but you can also Hane. Fun fact. I knew this was the move for a long time, right? But then one of my students played this move. And I was like, you know, I can't find a good reason that this move is bad. Like, I don't know it. I don't know why it's not good. So I played it once. And then I believe it was Ensong who said, you're a Dawn player. You should know that this is the Joseki. Or you should know that this is the pattern. I was like, you know, you're not wrong, but I don't know why it's not this one. And then AI came out and said this one was fine. So I got in trouble for something the AI said was fine. Not even a point. So the first thing is you're getting cut off too much. You're leaving too many cuts behind. Even here, like, just go here. And now when they block, you don't have a cut. Now when you block, you have a cut. Just connect. Just connect. This is a chicken move. You need more go problems. The thing is, more go problems mean more moves. So the sooner you can solve the life and death problem, the stronger you get, the sooner that you can ignore and go somewhere else. So you always want to try to ignore, but you want to think, can I solve this? So I think this is enough space. Like, to me, this is enough space. I don't know what it looks like to you, because I don't see what you see. But this is definitely enough space because it's 2 rows of 4. We know 4 rows alive. This is 2 rows of 4 plus 1. There's no way it can die. So the sooner you can ignore, the better. You want to be as greedy as you can. Probably the left side is big because your opponent played really massive move. Probably should do something about it. What is this move? This is not a pincer. This is a shoulder hit. Shoulder hits are for reductions, not for pincers. Pincer. Yeah, sure. Go for it. If you have a suggestion. We are just doing game reviews, so by all means. I'm going to recommend touch equals Nobi until single digit Q. Touch, stretch. Touch, stretch. If they touch you, you stretch. until single digit Q. You gotta go here. You got a cutting point. Instead of C1, if you're still worried about the corner, you had B5 as an option as well. Yeah, that is another good point. If before you play a vital point, expand the ice base. Make your ice base bigger before you play the vital point. Vix, you cut. Take anything away from this. Learn how to deal with cutting points. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a double Atari. Yeah, you can't connect either because that dies. Why? Because you have so many cutting points. Fix. Fix. And then when you're strong, you can attack cutting points. Don't underestimate the cutting points. I'm constantly lecturing single digit Qs about cutting points as well. Cutting points is like the entirety of Q level attack and defense. I don't know what this does. You still have a cutting point though. You could fix, you could extend, make this a ladder. Yeah, you still have a cutting point. Maybe it's okay. It's something. I just want you to fix your cutting points. I don't know what you're doing in the center here. I would say the bigger issue right now, one thing at a time, fix your cutting points. Hello, Josephine. Yeah. That's going to be my tip. Try to learn just one or two things at a time. Try to play a game where you're focusing on just fixing cutting points. And then you might be behind, but try to stay only like 30 points behind. See if you can get to the end of the game without a dead group. Don't miss Ataris. If you're missing Ataris, then you're not ready for single digit Q. I say that seeing single digit Qs miss Ataris sometimes. I miss Ataris like 1 in 1,000 games. It happens. But still, you shouldn't be missing Ataris. In theory, you shouldn't ever miss an Atari. Okay, I think I'll leave it at that. That's probably good enough. What is this? What is this? Chicken move? You fixed the self-Atari cut. There's no cut. It's a self-Atari. Yeah, be careful. They might start the cow. Yeah, that's my advice. My quick advice, anyway. My quick advice. For more detailed advice, check out seansgogroup.com and get lessons. Buy one, get one free until next month. Shameless plug. Yeah, that's what I would take from this game. You just want one or two things from this game. Anyone else? Game reviews for another 45 minutes. And then we have an interview. Hi, kitty cat. You come to bother me again? Sure. I am interviewing Paul Barcelone, the youth coordinator for the American Go Congress. Yeah, you can interview me right now. Hello, Cinderestimated. Let's prefer educational stuff for now. If people run out of games. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. What's the temperature in here? Can't see it. Udo Dudo. Udo Dudo. You are black.
Review started.
What level is this? AI says this is always good. Gordon. Drunk. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be hard to find mistakes at Gordon. It's probably just gonna be like one or two things, honestly. Are you doing your Go problems? This is slow. Too soon. Too soon. Maybe 3-3. No way. What? Whatever. This feels awkward. This can't be the best shit thing, right? Yeah, connect. It says that this is okay. Yeah, but you still want to connect. Remember how I just reviewed the 14 Qs game and said connections are better? Let's go back to our 14 Q basics. Connections are better. This is so awkward. I hate this shape. Connections are better. I'm double checking with AI to make sure I'm telling you correctly. But according to my basics, connections are better. I don't know what white's doing. I guess maybe it's fine. Okay, so we're gonna play a big move on the left. My instinct says A, B, C, D, E. And B is the correct answer. Looks like A or B. B was appropriate. Yeah, no, I get it. This is not very modern though. It's not that it's bad timing or anything. I think it's just old-fashioned. An old-fashioned idea. This makes me feel like you've been playing Go for at least let's see, 2014 was when AI AlphaGo. What year is it? So more than 10 years? Have you been playing Go for more than 10 years? That's the feeling I get. Okay, we're getting into this complicated crap. $25. Wow. Yeah, flying knife. This feels good for white though, because white got this move. Question is, where did black mess up? This is literally do what I'm doing. I'm playing the 2-space high enclosure, right? And I'm playing it like over and over and over. For I'm at 30 games out of 1,000. So I'm just playing it over and over and over. Play the flying knife over and over and over and over and over, and keep reviewing it every time a variation comes up. Review it, review it, review it, review it. And then just learn it inside and out, like one game at a time. You just play it 100 times over, and that's how you learn it. All right, it looks like black's 6.4. The 2-point mistake. Wow, 5.5-point mistake right there. Got a Nobi. Donatari crosscuts. This is smaller than I would have expected, but this is definitely... Oh no, this is better. Wow, I would have never guessed that. Hey, so the mistake was the Atari. Do you need that move? Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've doubted you. I should not have doubted. It doesn't look like you need it, though. Why is that so big? Why is this so big? It's only like 3 or 4 points in Sentai. Crazy, crazy. I guess. I would prefer it attach on the outside, to be honest. Booyah! Called it. I don't get to do that very often. I'm not usually correct. The reason is when I review with AI, I see this attachment more than I see this attachment. That's all it is. So I'm just a little bit more reviewed with AI. This is very natural, but I get the feeling that in modern play, this is too heavy. And this is where it comes with a lot of practice and review. But modern play, you have to get really good at Sabaki. Yeah. It's not something I can easily give advice on. But basically, it's like play 1,000 games and review for each one with AI. Dom players, you have to play with AI. You have to review with AI. And then ideally, join Yunguseng and subscribe to AI. Right? Just subscribe to an AI service somewhere and join Yunguseng. If you want to improve, that's the way to do it. At Dawn level, that is the way to do it. Play 2,000 games, join Yunguseng, review with AI, watch lectures every week. That, as a Dawn player, that's the best thing to do. That's cuttable. Really? Feels like points ahead. Not by much. Sabaki is really hard. Having all this is interesting, but sure. Having this feels wrong. What about joining Gyeonggu to watch the just to watch the VODs? That's a lot cheaper. $55 US. Spectator tier. It's a lot cheaper. I will say, if you can't play 1,000 games, it's not worth your money. You gotta play games before anything, and if you don't have the time, which most adults don't, that's not gonna be worth the money. But this is what I would tell you to do to improve. Are you kidding me? You get 3 weeks worth of food for $55? Oh my gosh, I want to move there. Making tons of money if I could afford, if I was eating for that cheap. A teacher is better than AI, but we can't afford a teacher every day. So AI is the best we got. Does that make sense? If you're in Asia, ask your pro teacher for a review. Like if you're at a Go Dojo or whatever, you ask your pro teacher for a review. But if you're in the West and you can't afford a pro teacher every single day of the week, you have to look at it with AI. Like, what else are you gonna do? So it's kind of that's the problem. Is pro teachers are better, but we're not that. We don't have that luxury. I want to say the rest of the game was looking pretty good. This felt a little passive, but it's really hard to improve that. This is going to take practice and study. This should be better. Oh, the game looks okay, from what I can tell. No reason not to do that. Come on. No, of course go here. Of course go here. This is Gote just as much as this is. What? That makes sense. Does it make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Okay, stop doing this. Stop doing this. Both missed N12. N12. N12 doesn't do anything yet, so I've been living and I've been looking at places that are nice to live in, but still very affordable to live. And for food, some places are nice. Philippines, $300 a month approximately, if you want all the amenities like running water. Dude, $300 a month. I wouldn't even pay for my groceries. I wouldn't even pay for my food. $300 a month would not even pay for my food. I swear, if I didn't have family where I live, I would be gone. I think I would just move to Asia. I don't have to worry about seeing family. I think I would just move to Asia. Especially now that I got some Mega Dragon. Well, the Introvix, I'm comparing it to my income level. With some Mega Dragon, I have I have a solid income. It's just not lucrative for my cost of living. What are you saying you missed here? What's here? What am I missing? Uh-huh. I'm just dumb. I was looking at that move. Because I'm dumb. Much earlier. Oh, because you go here, 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 here. Oh, I'm sorry, here first. Excuse me, princess. That's pretty big. Yeah, that's pretty big. Pretty big. All right. Hopefully you enjoy the review. If you can, you want to be able to get to the end game consistently within 20 points, like almost every game, before you worry about improving your end game. But if you can get to the end of the game within 20 points, then it's as simple as improving your end game. You weren't drunk when you played this game. Oh boy.
Review started.
Are you black or white? I want to see you're black. Sure. Okay, what's the Deck of Joseki? I forgot it. I knew it and I forgot it. I'm not gonna remember that. I'm not gonna remember that. I would have to play it a lot. I knew it and then I forgot it. I will say this one involves a ladder, which should be good for you. So I would have tried to remember it. I know it involves a ladder. Your ladder is not good, but don't. This is a very nice ladder breaker. This feels very large. But what do I know? Typically, the rule of thumb is don't Atari a crosscut. Yeah, typically the rule of thumb is don't Atari a crosscut. That didn't do anything. No, that doesn't do anything. There's no... The ladder still works. Okay, but Slack an issue. Are you playing the game? That is the question. I see this so much effort into studying and watching tutorials, doing Go problems, but are you playing the blasted game? You play a lot? Okay, good. You're doing great. This would be more modern. Hey, this is nice. I did do that, thank you, Anermy. I video called my mom every morning when I was in Korea. But it was still, like, still got homesick after 5 months. I was fine for 4 months, but that 5th month came around, I got like, really homesick. Yeah, that would do some bad habits, yeah. Oh, you really needed this move. This is all your eye shape. Now you have 0 eye shape. That's a lot of cutting points. Now it's not. Your opponent has fixed it for you. I think typically the pincer is kick and then 2 space high. This is typically the pincer. Uh-huh. That's overplay. Don't do that. This is really big, but you have a cutting point. So I would love to fix this cutting point. And then play this. That's what I would love to do if I could. Okay, but you need something in here. I can't get the overall theme of what you're doing wrong, though. It feels like a bunch of dame moves. Well, I can tell you right now, this is the second time you've misread a simple cut. You need to do more Go problems. I need to do more Go problems. Oh my gosh. This is a terrible Knight's move. He can't do anything. Just go here. Oh man, I didn't realize how cuttable that thing was. Read your Knight's moves before you play them. What if I go here? Now it's at least cut. The amount of ladders and nets that get missed at the Q level is insane. Even at the Dawn level, there's a lot of ladders and nets that get missed. Never stop doing ladder and net go problems. And where can you do all these lovely go problems? SemegoDragon.com. Problems for you, sorted for you, not by you, but by my editors and myself. You can click on categories, and it'll separate them into certain categories. And here's what you do. You go into your ladders, you go into your nets, and then you pick, usually I would say most of you are level 3, level 4. And then you click start, and ta-da, you just go in these one at a time. And they're supposed to be easy. Okay, they're supposed to be easy. They're not supposed to be difficult. You're just supposed to develop an instinct for it. Nope. Yep. Ladder. And I'm reading before I play. Ladder. I'm not just clicking the stones. Ladder. Because it's not about rushing like Puzzle Rush. It is about making your brain be aware of the shape and check the shape before you play it. I don't think I can net. Can I net? No. I go here. No. Da. The fudge do I do? What am I missing? I'm not looking at chat because I want to solve this without help. I know I can solve this. Mistakes 191. Okay, this is clearly underranked. What am I missing here? Connect. I am amazing. Okay, that one was not 9Q to 5Q. This connect move was not. I want to move that to level 5. That was not an easy find. Sundere, that's the reason why you picture the solution before you play it. Because what you're doing is you're training eyes to check by picturing it, and then you'll recognize when to check it. What you're not, it's not about instantly solving it. It's about knowing that there's a shape worth checking. Nice. I can do one more review before the interview. I legit don't know what to say for just one game. I would have to see another game of yours. This one doesn't tell this, doesn't give me a full picture. Doesn't paint me a clear picture. Yeah, I would want to see more games before I give like hard advice. You know, if you got lessons, I could see more of your games. Yeah, sorry. Do the best I can, but can't win them all. Not every game will tell you everything about you. I didn't realize how thirsty I was. Oh, yeah. Paige is really fast at the Smago Dragon Puzzle Rush. Usually you don't talk to your opponent during the game. Yeah, Atari, you're good. Supposed to link. If someone talks to you during a game, just ignore them. Put it on Zen mode. Go to this little button on the right, put it on Zen mode, hit F11, boom. Massive go board for you to just focus. Okay, massive go board, you can just focus. This is what I do when I play when I'm not streaming. Zen mode, F11. It gives you one more rank of improvement. 2 geese worth probably 1 rank. You said you're black? Your Dawn level, is this Fox 1 Dawn or is this OGS 1 Dawn? The big difference. Boop, 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 boop. AI says this is always okay. This is actually like the worst pincer, isn't it? If I understand correctly, that's like the worst one. Okay, so this is 0.1. This is... Hold on, I gotta download the SGF. Upload SGF. There, now I can do the review. Now, as I was saying, it's always fine. 0.1. This is 0.5, so 0.4. 0.3. What do I know? One space low is the worst? Okay, let me go through. This is my 20Q basics, okay? 20Q basics. How do I pincer? You take the base, okay? You don't want to be touching the stone. Like here would be touching, you could cut. Here would be touching, right? So you take the base, you go 1 space away from it, and their base is on the 3rd line, okay? This is our 20Q basics that I teach. So 1 space away on the 3rd line takes their base. If you flip it, you move the stone to the 4th line because the combination of 3rd line pincers, the 4th line, and 4th line pincers, the 3rd line, that is a combination. So low pincers high, high pincers low. Okay. When you have something of interest up here, say for example a Shamari, then sometimes you can play as far away as here. You're still taking their base, but you're also playing an extension. So it's a combination, right? That's something you can do here. Let's say this white stone was low. Well, in this case, low space, the pincer's fine, but sometimes if you play a kick and they go up and you want to pincer, now this one's not a good pincer spot, but sometimes if you kick them and they ignore, you want to pincer again, but if you pincer 1 space away, they are a little thicker, so it's a little bit more dangerous. So in this case, you would pick 2 spaces away. However, with two stones, they're already out to the center a little bit. So you'll move it up to the 4th line to make it a little bit easier to surround. Right? So that's how you come to the 4th line move. So that is why typically against the high approach, if you wanted to 2 space, you would go high. Because it's already on the 4th line. It's already got an escape route, so you're going a little bit more here. This one is a very unconventional pincer according to our fundamental ideas, our fundamental theories. all of that means nothing compared to strong reading, obviously. But that is the idea. What the heck is this move? What is this? The inside Hani versus the attach on the 3-3. You're going to know more about this move than I will. I never play this move. I am just telling you, fundamentally, it's not the best point, but according to AI, it's fine. Take that for what you will. Yeah, everyone has their trick move, right? I don't know what this is. The person I'm interviewing is sending me messages, so I'm going to have to wrap it up here and get ready for the interview. Sorry. Interesting conversation, though. Any pincer is fine, yeah. Any pincer is fine. It's an interesting conversation.
Necrond just followed.
Thank you for the follow. Advertise my crap. Lessons are buy one, get one free. It's a moving special. So if you buy a lesson pack for 6 months, you get 12 lessons. If you buy a lesson pack for 12 months, you get 24 lessons. That is until the end of next month because we're moving next month and it is to raise funds for our move. So if you're interested in lessons, now is a great time to do it. And then, of course, SymmetriConDragon.com for Go Puzzles. Pincers are great. Pincers are fun. Do fun things. Don't worry about playing perfect. Play fun. Just study your fun very well. So today I would be happy to answer, but I'm going to focus on the interview for now. So feel free to ask me a different day, though. Yeah, that's intentional. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hang on. I need to set permissions. Can you see me? I don't see you.
I can see you. Mine is currently being captured by OBS, and it can only
okay.
So it can only capture. I can't use the camera on 2 different softwares.
Got it. No problem. But you can see me, which is what you
Yeah.
want anyways, right?
Yep.
So
I got you on screen. All right. So let me pull up my thing and my stuff. Right here. I got the interview questions up. So first things first, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Paul Barchelon. I'm the Vice President of the American Go Foundation. We're a nonprofit and we exist to help spread Go among kids and, just in general in the US. And we also do some support for Canada and Mexico as well.
Awesome, awesome. Before we dive into the questions, did you want to go over the links you sent me first, or do you want to just dive right in?
Yeah. Yeah. So, as I'm talking about different things, so first off, like the first thing we'll do is probably just the general youth room link,
Okay.
which I think is the last one I sent. Because we're going to do free registration for all youth, and you don't have to do anything to get that. So, we can sort of talk about that. And then you can get an additional $200 per kid by playing in either the Redmond or the Girls Cup or the National Q Championship. And those have registration deadlines, which are coming up. Oh, actually, I need to. Yeah, the information is on those links. If I change to another screen, can you still see me or do I go away?
I can still see you.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'll want to mention those dates that they need to register by. The Q Championship is February 16th. So I can talk about that stuff, but so those links would be good when we talk about those events. So I think first, just I could talk a little bit about the youth room. You could put that link up on the screen for people to click on, and then I can talk about the special events and that you need to register for them, etc.
Mhm.
And then whatever else you have in mind.
So let's go ahead and start with our first couple questions here because it kind of gives an idea of like who you are and what you do.
Okay.
Can you tell us a bit about your role as the youth coordinator for Go Congress?
So for a number of years, I've been running the youth room, and so we usually get around 100 kids at Congress. And a while ago, we set up, that we would have a special room for them that we could have, fun youth events in. So that runs every afternoon from 1:30 to 5:30. And the games in the youth room, most of them are just more fun and less pressure because everybody has a serious match in the morning. So, and it's a chance for kids to meet each other, make new friends, play in different events. We have like a team event, just like in Hikaru no Go. We have pair go events. We have 9x9 and 13x13 events that are just fun, and I give away a ton of prizes. So and it's all table prizes. So if you have like 6 kids playing at a table, one kid at that table is going to win a prize. So if you have 10 tables, you're going to be giving away 10 sets of prizes, So it's just a lot
Mhm.
of fun for everybody.
What inspired you to take on this position, and how did you get involved with Go Congress?
Initially, I was invited to the Go Congress to be Teacher of the Year in 2006, and I'd never been to Congress before. And I had a great time that year and just thought it was amazing. And the youth room director, Todd Heidenreich, at that time had been doing it for, I think, 7 years or something, and he was ready to stop doing it. And he asked if I would be interested in doing it and mentioned that it would be a free trip to Congress. And I was like, aha. So then, so I was like, yeah, I want a free trip to Congress. And then it's kind of grown. I mean, initially there were not so many kids coming to Congress, but it's been a really successful program. And now kids are about a quarter of the attendees at Congress. So it's pretty cool. We have a whole thing going on. So it's great.
Cool. What is your primary responsibilities leading up to and during the event? Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
So we coordinate a lot of different events that there's qualifiers for, like the Redmond Cup and the Girls Cup, and the Q Championship, and the prizes for those also include, well, if you make it as a finalist, you get a free trip to
Hmm.
Congress. And Justin Tang runs those events, but I help coordinate them with him. And so we organize all the scholarships and stuff, and we, do all the planning for the youth room, getting prizes, making sure the room is big enough, organizing and promotion, that sort of stuff. And then, all the work, at Congress is the main part of it, but there's a fair amount before as well.
Gotcha. We've kind of touched on these questions, so we can probably just skip right through these pretty quickly. But what is the current state of the youth participation, and how does Go Congress cater to younger players compared to adults?
So I'd like to think that Go Congress does a good job of both of those
Mm,
things, but we've made a real effort to make it better for kids, and I think
mhm,
that's been pretty successful. from having prizes and
Mm.
fun events, and just creating a forum where kids can meet each other. I mean, I think for everybody who comes to Go Congress, you may be coming from a community where it's like, barely anybody who plays Go, or just a few guys at your club or something, and then you come to Go Congress and there's like 500 Go players there, and you're like, whoa, it's like, you're in
Mm.
paradise, and so
Yeah,
I think that's a really exciting experience for both kids and adults, and for kids in particular, it's great to just have an informal place where you can, hang out with your friends, and do fun games and not have so much pressure.
that's great. Can you elaborate on the tournaments for youth?
So I do a different tournament every day, and like we'll start out with like Lightning Go, for example. So it's 10 minutes sudden death, which is no problem for kids because kids are used to playing fast. And again in that, you get a room full of kids playing Lightning Go, but they're all at tables, so everybody at the table is going to win a prize.
Mhm.
So we give out a bunch of cool stuff, and kids like that. And then the next day we'll do 9 by 9 tournament, and then 13 by 13 after that. So small board, fun, low pressure. Again, prizes for everybody in both events. We do youth adult pair go, which is a really has turned into a pretty major event. So any youth can play with any adult, and we get a lot of people doing that. It's like often like 80 people competing in it, and it's kind of a good warm up for the main pair go event at Congress, because a lot of times pairs will compete in the youth adult pair go for the first time, and then so they've had a little bit of a warm up, and then they compete in the main thing. And at stake there is a trip to Japan to represent the U.S. and the World Amateur Go, or Japanese Pair Go Association. So that's a really cool event. And then we have more casual things on Thursday, and on Friday we have the youth team tournament, which is always one of my favorites. Teams of 3 kids against teams of 3 other kids, and it's modeled on Hikaru no Go,
Mhm.
and it's so if any 2 players win, then your team wins, and so that's a lot of fun. And
Are all of
and then,
these played on the 19 by 19?
all except for the 9 by 9 and 13 by 13 tournaments.
Okay, but yeah, so all of the like the 10 minutes absolute stuff's all 19 by
Mhm.
19?
Yeah.
Oh man, that must be chaos finishing 19 by 19 in 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Like
I
I
was
said, it's
thinking
easy.
maybe
Yeah.
13 by 13, 10 minutes, easy peasy, but 19 by 19,
Yeah.
sudden death, that sounds like pretty challenging.
Yeah. For
Um,
adult,
for an
kids, it's no
adult,
problem. Getting kids to
um,
slow down is usually the problem.
I remember last year, no, the year before last, I don't think it went last year. The year before last, there was the track down an older person to play.
Yes, the bound prizes. Yeah, and we're doing that, and we've increased the prizes. That was sponsored by this very kind gentleman, Leonard Baum, who passed away, but he left a little bit of an endowment for us, and we use it to get young kids to play older people. There has to be a 40-year age difference between the players, and the kid has to be under 16. And then there's
Hmm.
just a ton of prizes, like the kid who plays the most adults, the kid who beats the most adults, the kid who loses to the most adults. And the prizes are like $50, plus you get this nice shiny medal. And then last year, I think we started doing $5 per game. So even if you don't win one of the categories, if you play, 12 adults in the course of the Congress and submit it to the bound prizes, we give you $50. So clearly we're just paying you to play adults. But what's great about it is, everybody has a lot of fun. I mean, the adults love playing with the kids. The kids get really competitive about it. And it's kind of like, playing with your grandpa or something, so I think it's a really fun event, and that's grown quite big too. We had a lot of kids participating in that last year, and it's just a nice way to cross the generations there.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool. I had a couple old people telling me about how it was a lot of fun for random kids to come up like ask them for a game.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any trends in how the younger players are approaching Learning Go compared to the older players?
The younger kids are really up on whatever's going on. They're all training with AI. They're most of them, not most of them, but a lot of them are training with professionals, and so they're kind of really, they have their finger on the pulse of whatever's going on. Like when you
Mhm.
play adults, a lot of them aren't necessarily going to know a lot of the newer Josekis, the kids are always, on top of that. And we also get a lot of, there's a lot of really strong kids who come from China and will play in the room. So you get, you know, really high octane, players in there, and then that rubs off on the other kids, and they're teaching new Josekis that like we don't even know now. It's like so that they
Mm,
just figured this out while they're studying to be a pro in China, and that they'll come share it in the youth room, and so it's an exciting environment for kids that way
that's
too.
cool. Is there any language barrier?
A lot of the American kids who come are Chinese American, and a lot of them speak Chinese relatively well. And then there's a lot of kids who are not Chinese who obviously don't speak Chinese, but usually people are happy to translate. And then everybody speaks English, but some people to greater or lesser extent. So.
Gotcha. This is a nice question. What are your thoughts on a relatively high bar players have to clear to or teachers have to clear to get people to play the game compared to say chess, which may make it harder to spread.
So I actually think it's a lot easier to teach than chess because the pieces all do the same thing, and the game mechanics are much simpler.
Hmm.
And especially if you're teaching a 9x9. So I mean, I can teach a 4-year-old to play Go.
Hmm.
It's kind of hard to teach them to play chess. So so that's a really good thing. But for some reason, I think it's just cultural. Like in Western culture, we have this context of chess as the preeminent mind sport game, and in Asian culture, they all think of Go that way. So it's just a little bit of a challenge to get people to understand this game because it's so different. It's definitely helped with the whole AI revolution that's happened, and DeepMind, and different movies and TV shows that have Go in them definitely helped to spread it. So we do our best to try and spread it, but we're still nowhere near as popular as chess.
Okay. Um, are there any opportunities for the youth players to interact with professional players or top level teachers during the events?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have pros in the youth room almost every day. There's a couple days I don't have them in because the events are so popular that nobody wanted to play the pro because they want to play in the youth adult pair go or the team tournament. But other than those two events, there are two professionals in the youth room every day, and they usually do simuls because that's what kids want. But I also have it available that if you got your game record and you want a pro to review it, that is available to happen. So we've got dedicated pros in the youth room, and then there's also pros in the main area. What often happens a lot is kids come and then they don't realize there's pros in the youth room, so they sign up for the pro simuls in the main room, and then sometimes adults don't get those slots because the kids are all signing up for them, and the same pro will be coming to the youth room to do a session, later or the next day or something, but so, kids should primarily sign up for simuls in the youth room. But if there's a pro that, that they particularly want who's not teaching in the youth room, then absolutely they should go and do that. But they shouldn't think
Mm,
that, they're not going to have access to pros in the youth room because actually we have much more access per capita than the adults do in the main area.
cool. What do you think is the importance of events like Go Congress and building the Go community, specifically among the youth?
I just don't think there's anything like it. I think it's the most important thing that the AJA does. We used to do a Go Camp, and that was also like a really good thing for kids. And now
Mm,
I feel like Go Congress has become like the Go Camp. So when kids come and meet other kids and meet stronger kids, and it's like it forms a whole community. And I've seen, several waves of kids. I've been doing this for gosh, a long time. Well, since 2006, I've seen several waves of young kids, grow up and pass through, and they all, remain friends, and they come to Congress as adults now, and some of them, become organizers. Like I met Justin Tang when he was 11. He played in one of our events, and then he came to Go Congress in DC was the first one that he came to, and now he's, you know, does all of this stuff for the AJA, vice president of and does the youth coordination with me as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. So you mentioned the Go Camp. That doesn't still happen, right? That still doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't. We had a good run for a number of years, and then it got increasingly harder to get organizers who are willing to do it, and we didn't have as many kids doing it. And we would still fund it, like it's in our budget. We would
Mhm.
gladly fund a Go Camp, and we kind of try to get one going each year, and there's maybe one that's going to happen next year. Possibly with Myungwon Kim out in Hawaii. So we're always trying to get one going. But we sort of had a golden era where there were about 15 or 20 kids coming, to Go Camp for, I think maybe 5 to 10 years, but then it just kind of dropped off. And I think in a lot of ways the Congress kind of replaced it. But we would definitely support both events if there were, kids who
Mm,
wanted to do it.
gotcha. Have you witnessed any memorable significance? Have you witnessed any significant moments or success stories from the youth participants at Go Congress?
Yeah, lots. I mean, just from watching kids play One Color Go, which is always kind of amazing, to watching kids who are competing in some of the more serious events like the Redmond Cup or whatever, and then also just playing and having fun with each other, or like a kid will lose the Redmond, but then he and his opponent will join the same team for the youth team tournament, for example. So there's kind of a nice there's a nice thing there that the kids really get a connection with each other, and I definitely feel like it really helps them to grow. I've seen weaker kids come in, make friends with really strong kids, and the really strong kids be very generous about sharing, their knowledge, teaching them stuff, and often that relationship will continue online after Congress is over.
Yeah, thinking back on it, I remember going to Go Camp once as the youth at 17, and then friends that I made there I'm still friends with now. I still see
Cool.
a Go Congress.
Yeah.
Um, how do you see the next generation of the youth in the recent years in the youth? How do you see the kids growing up and shaping the future of the community?
I think the more kids we get, the bigger influence it has. And one thing that I'd like to see more of is it spreading wider than the Chinese American community, because we have a
Hmm.
really strong group, in the Chinese American community who comes. That's like our core of people who come, and then there's probably about 20% of just regular American kids who are, learning Go. And I'd really like to see that spread, because, Go should
Hmm.
be in all of our communities, not just the Chinese American one. So my hope is that that will move in that direction, and it will spread bigger.
Okay. Are there any new initiative or ideas for the youth programs at future Go Congresses that is being discussed or going to happen?
Nothing new. No. Well, actually, I should clarify that the Girls Cup we just expanded to make that the same as the Redmond Cup, so that we're going to bring 4 finalists to Congress instead of 2. So we'll have 2 bands under 13
Mm.
and then 13 to 17, and each band will have 2 finalists who will come and compete. The Redmond and the Girls Cup, both those are qualifying events. You qualify online, and you compete usually 6 or 7 matches online, and then the finalists from that get a free trip to Congress, which alone is a great prize. And then they'll compete face to face, best 2 out of 3 matches, and then the winner also gets a nice. Well, actually, both winner and loser in the finals get nice trophies and cash prizes.
Cool. Um, how can the community, like the online community or the widespread community, how can the community in Go support your efforts and the AGF's efforts to help support the youth growth in Go?
The best thing you can do is donate to the American Go Foundation. We are funded entirely by donations, and everything we pay for comes from that. And we're not a huge organization, but the our our average donation is probably like, $25 or something, but a lot of Go players give us that. And then we have a few Go Angels who, give us, a larger sum, which is always very appreciated. We did get some money from Google when they had the DeepMind grant. They gave some of the funding from that to us when they won with the AI competition. But mainly it's just individuals donating. So if you want to donate to us, please go to our website. It's agfgo.org. And there's a donate button right up at the top. And you can contribute whatever you like. And it all goes to fund kids. And also our primary activity, aside from the Go Congress, is actually sending free equipment to schools. So any school that wants to run a Go program will send them a classroom starter set, which is enough for 24 kids to play Go. We're also making a Kids Go website where kids can learn Go and that classes could go through and have animated lessons that are teaching them how to play, and a server that they can play against as well. So, we have a lot of projects around that are trying to spread Go, and we appreciate whatever support the community can give us because that's makes everything we do possible.
Okay, some more questions from the viewers. Any potential collaborations with the overseas Go associations?
We do a lot with the Overseas Go associations, from interacting a little bit before and after, as well as during, and coordinating the pros with them. And they know that we've got pros in the youth room, and so that's always a priority. The Parago people send us prizes, to do for those events. And sometimes, like the Korean Baduk Association will often send like a box of prizes that are, um, books or Go sets or other things like that are, specifically for the kids in the youth room.
Will there be a potential for the U.S. to host a world championship title worthy of competition, like in Singapore hosting the Nanyang Cup?
That I do not know about. Sorry.
No worries. That might be more of an AGA question than a
I think
AGF.
that's more of an AGA question.
Okay, no worries. What has been the most rewarding part of your work as the youth coordinator?
It's seeing the kids grow up and still play and become strong or not become strong, but still just be in the Go. And seeing them years later or having kids tell me that they, remember the youth room or that it had a big impact on them. And then, I think when I see some of those kids grow up and become organizers, there's such a small group of us who are willing to volunteer to organize and to help spread Go in the AGA and in the AGF. And so, knowing that like kids that I taught or that I helped foster or that I provided resources for are now volunteering and doing stuff with the AGA, that's to me extremely gratifying that, I feel like, okay, this passion has been spread, and somebody else wants to do this. So
Awesome. What do you think attracts kids to Go other than learning about it from a relative?
I think once they see it, they're interested in it. So it's like getting them to see it, and it's a crowded field to get a kid's attention, because there's video games that are so dynamic and stuff, and there's all sorts of high tech stuff. But I think if you actually see people playing Go somewhere, you're immediately wondering like what is going on with that. That's a really strange looking game. It looks very different from chess. We're playing on the lines. What's going on there? So I think kids are naturally curious when they see it. The problem is that they don't get as many opportunities to see it.
Mhm.
And online, I think it's hard for Go to compete with video games that have such sophisticated graphics. So I think it's great, streaming and stuff on Twitch. I think that really helps because I think when people get a context to understand what's going on with this game, I think that makes them more interested in it. So streamers like you are providing a really valuable service and helping to spread that to a larger audience. And I know a lot of kids are, coming across Go that way as well.
Yeah. What advice would you give to young players or their parents who are considering attending the Go Congress?
I would say come. It is tremendous fun. You might be worried about it or apprehensive or concerned that you're not strong enough Don't worry about that. The Congress has bans all the way down to 30Q. You can be a very weak player and still come and play and still win a prize in your division. Everything is set up that way. Same in the youth room. You don't have to be strong to win things. The strong players will win stuff. The weaker players will win stuff. I think what it takes is, you just have to have, you have to be interested enough in Go to want to play, for several hours a day, for a week. And if you meet that criteria, you should definitely come. If you're a parent considering whether or not this is a good environment for your kid, I think intellectually, it's really helps a child to grow, to be exposed to this kind of stuff. And, the Go is just sort of it makes you smarter and it improves your functioning and your reasoning intellectually across the board. So kids who are good at Go are usually very good academically and at the top of their class, and they can apply those skills that they learn from Go to other areas of life. So I think it's well worth doing. If you're a parent but you don't want to take the time, or you don't have the time to bring your kid, but your kid really wants to go, you can send your child with, like a guardian who's over 18. So if there's somebody at the Go Club who's willing to supervise your child while they're at club, you can send them that way. We've got forms to allow them to do that. And while they're in the youth room, you'll have direct supervision from me and the assistant youth room coordinator, and a lot of other parents there too. We also have a lot of kids who their parents can't go, but their friends' parents are going to go. So you get 4 or 5 kids that are coming, and there's just, one set of parents that belong to one of the kids, but their friends came too. So there's a lot of ways to work that out, and enable your kid to have this experience, even if you're not able to come as a parent.
Awesome. So we've gotten through pretty much all the questions. Do you want to go ahead and jump right into the links that you shared?
Yeah. So let's talk about the Q Championship first.
Okay.
So this event is open to Q players, obviously, and under 18. And again, all the way down. You don't have to be a certain rank to qualify. I get kids coming in who are 25Q, whatever. You do need to be able to play online. These events are held on KGS. The Q Championship is a one-day event, and you play, all 4 rounds, and they're fairly fast games. I think it's a 2-day event. We broke it into 2 days. But it's a great fun to play in, and again, you'll meet other kids, and just by playing in that, you can qualify for an extra $200 off Go Congress. So whether or not you're planning on coming to Congress, it's a good idea to register and play in the event, because if later it turns out you are able to come to Congress, you're going to get an extra $200 off, which would be great. So the Q Championship, the registration deadline is February 16th. So you need to register by then, and then the event will be held, I think it's on Saturday, February 22nd. Oh, and it is 4 rounds in one day. Yeah, 4 rounds in one day. So put that on your calendar, and you can register and read more about it at the link that hopefully Sean is sharing on the screen. So the corollary for that, for stronger players, would be for the Redmond Cup and the Girls Cup. And again, in those, we've got under 13 and 13 to 17. And as I mentioned before, the finalists get a free trip to Congress. But even just for playing in the event, you also get $200 off on your Congress registration. So it's another terrific event to play in. You can get a lot stronger. The Girls Cup now, you can also play as a Q player in the Girls Cup, and we've got a new band for that. So in the younger band, you can join. So the Redmond, you need to register for that by, let me check that date. Okay, registration will close on February 28th, and competition starts on March 3rd. The Redmond and the Girls Cup both. You have 2 weeks to arrange a match with your opponent, and we'll tell you who your opponent's going to be. And that'll be, it varies 6 to 7 to 8 rounds. Sometimes if we have a tie, we need to do a little playoff online to figure out who are the finalists that are going to go. But 2 kids in the senior and 2 kids in the junior for both of these events will win a totally free trip to Congress, and compete face to face. And usually We'll broadcast those games at Congress, and often we get a pro to comment on them as well. So that's another really fun event.
Awesome.
So that's the Redmond and the Girls Cup. So sign up for both of those. And then just the main Congress youth room link, which gives you a little more information about the program, shows you the schedule, etc. So that's a good sort of overall resource to look at, or that you can show to your parents, and get them interested in Go Congress as well.
Cool. Is there anything you want to point out on the schedule that might be of interest? I see pizza. Pizza's interesting to me.
All interesting. Yeah, we have a pizza and welcome party on the first Saturday, and then a farewell party on the last Saturday. So yeah, and then just different events. Lightning Go on Sunday. Monday is 9x9 and 13x13. Tuesday is Youth Adult Pair Go. So it's good to meet some adults, or maybe you're coming with a parent who plays Go and you want to play with them. But you should plan on who you want to have be your partner in that event. Wednesday is the day off. Thursday we do like a 13x13 team thing that's kind of fun, and then Friday is the main team tournament. So, and then there's pros every day, or Sunday, Monday, Thursday at least, and
Cool.
Saturday too.
So it looks like there's two schedules. The top one is the event, and the bottom one is the pros.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just trying to sort what there was two schedules here that I'm looking at.
Yeah. Yeah. And at Congress, usually if we have it by the time, it will certainly be in the YAP. You can see which pro is going to be in the youth room. And if we have it in time to get it in the guidebook, we'll do that in advance. And if not, it'll be posted on the, the bulletin board and in the app that you can see who's teaching when.
Cool. Okay, and then you shared a couple pictures that I'm showing off.
Yeah, just fun stuff. Kids having fun at Go Congress.
Yeah, I love analyzing some of the board positions. Some of them look quite interesting. Some of them look really strong, and then you'll see some weird shapes in some of them. But
yeah, we have some, like one of these, like I think those are like 6 and 7 Dons that are playing.
Yeah, it's amazing the drastic difference that you can have in youth, from
exactly.
complete beginner random stones to stronger than most of the adults.
Yeah, and even like like the 9x9 event, you might think like that's not a big deal, and it's not. It's fun, right? But I've had 9x9 tables that are entirely 6 and 7 Don kids, just fighting like hell for that, for whatever the prize is. It's pretty great.
Would you say that small boards are more interesting to some kids than the bigger boards?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I mean, small board is kind of fun. It's just so compressed on 9x9. 13x13, you can kind of get the mechanics of Go, but I feel like Go doesn't really come into its own until you're on the full board, and I think most kids feel that way.
Are there kids that have trouble with patience trying to complete the whole 1919 game?
Not at Go Congress, no. I mean, like I said, if you're going to come to Congress, you need to be pretty into it. So, the ones who come are into it. Occasionally, we get younger kids who are like a sibling, and they may not have as much patience. But we don't have any pressure, and we try to make things as fun as possible for kids. And we'll often do friendly or fun events. And I've had like 5 or 6 year olds that their older sibling is there and playing seriously, and they're feeling left out, and we'll get them a game with another young kid, or myself or the other youth room coordinator will play a fun game with them, or we'll do something fun like put Go problems on a board, and then they have to solve it, and if they solve it they get a prize, kind of thing. So there can be little mini things like that, and obviously we do pretty easy problems for young kids. One of my rules is nobody should go home crying. So
Yeah. A couple more questions from chat. Do you think there are specific challenges associated with ensuring girls feel comfortable at youth Go events? Because because in the chess world there have been reports of harassment and such in some events.
I have not seen a lot of that in the youth room. The girls are, first off, there's a fair amount of them, and they seem pretty well supported. And I think, particularly among kids, the girls often tend to mature faster. So they're,
Hmm.
they're sort of emotionally like a little ahead of the boys sometimes. And so I think they sort of hold the upper hand in some of those terms, and, like I said, because we've got a fair amount of them, it's usually not an issue. I certainly have not noticed any overt harassment, in terms of that. And we certainly have, we're looking out for the kids. And if there's ever an issue that comes up or somebody does say something or do something, we certainly, get right on it.
Are there any additional efforts to improve access to game records? Because even the Chinese game records are hard to find nowadays.
I'm not aware of any. There probably are, some resources like that. That might be a good AGA question. Or, it's certainly a question that if you come to Congress, you could ask a strong Chinese kid, hey, where can I get some? And they can help you find them.
What about the game records to the kids' game specifically, or like the Redmond Cups or the Girls Cup? Are those
Um,
recorded?
so the Redmond Cup games we usually broadcast, not all of them. So those ones I don't know that there's access to those after the fact, other than, looking at the stream. And then for a while, Congress was uploading game records for games. I'm not sure if they're still doing that. The games in the youth room tend to be more informal.
Hmm.
And, obviously the Redmen and the Girls Cup are not, like I said, those are recorded. But we don't have anywhere where they're just like available.
Gotcha. That might be something for the future, so that way people can see like or do like overviews of here's this person and that person. What about like player bios? Is that a thing?
We usually will do a little bit of a bio for the kids in the e-journal before the event,
Hmm.
so that people know who the finalists are, and tell something about them and their go career.
Gotcha. Maybe that's something we should do is on the website or something. But like, here's the Redmond Cup. Here's previous events. Here's the game records. Some
Uh-huh.
player bios. That might be fun to do. I haven't
Yeah.
thought about that in the past.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, and we could probably coordinate and get some game records from some of the kids and do some bios or something once we know who the finalists are. That might be a fun event to put together later.
Nice. That'd be cool if a chat question ends up affecting the website in the future.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up with some final thoughts. Do you have any final thoughts or final comments that you would like to get out
Just
there?
that I want to encourage everybody to come. It's great fun. If you haven't been before, you might be like, oh, it's expensive. I don't want to come. If you're under 18, it's free. The AGF is paying the youth fees. So there's no registration fee for under 18, and then you still have to pay for, housing and food and stuff. But again, if you play in one of these events, we'll give you $200 to use towards that. So that definitely helps. Also, if you're a college student, we can give you a $300 scholarship also to make your registration free, and you can apply for that through the Congress website. So we've got a lot of resources to try to get as many people to come as possible, and it's an amazing experience. I think anybody who comes really enjoys it and wants to do it again. So it's a great way to spread go because you're surrounded by people who are share the same passion, and that's a really powerful thing for a kid to see that.
Oh, I want to touch on something you mentioned. You mentioned that you work with college students, which are not necessarily youth. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so that's a scholarship program we've had for a few years, and it's just uh, it's to help people in that age group come to Congress as well, and also, if you're in college, you tend not to have so much money, so we created a scholarship for that as well, and that's $300, and all you have to do is apply for that and indicate that you're in college, show us some evidence that you're in college, student ID, whatever, and you'll get free registration. So that's a good feature too.
Awesome. Uh, for those that are watching this video in the future and they want to learn more about stuff, who can they contact, or where can they go to contact someone to get more information?
You can email me or Justin at our main AGA address, which is youth@usgo.org. And that goes to both of us. So, one of us will respond if we see something come in that. So if you've got a general question, that's a perfectly good one to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out and responding so quickly and hopping on for an interview. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for doing this, Sean. Really appreciate it. It's great to, spread the message by all the means possible, and certainly streaming is a great one. So I appreciate streamers like you helping us out.
I'm very happy that I can't take all the credit. I have been having people at the AGA reach out to me to help also set up this stuff. So I'm very excited to be working with them a lot more this year. I'm very happy that they're reaching out to us streamers to help get us involved as well. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm happy to be doing all this kind of stuff. It's quite a lot of fun, I think.
Terrific. Great. And I assume we'll get to see you at Congress then, right?
Yes, my wife and I are both planning to come this year for sure.
Excellent. Well, I'll look forward to seeing you both.
All right. With that, have a good one. Thank you for stopping by.
Okay. Thanks so much, Sean.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. I think it went really well. I will have to cut out that portion of the stream and put it on YouTube. Yeah, I think that went very well. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do you guys have any final comments or questions that you wanted to ask? I tried to get everyone's questions asked that were posted in chat. We can also do a little bit of Q&A. I have about 15 more minutes that I want to stream because I want to try to hit my 2 hours still. So if you guys have questions or want me to look at things, I think now would be a great time for some like Q&As in general. How many here will be attending Congress? It does, even if it's not the AGA's Congress. Will you be attending your Europe Congress? Speaking of Europe, do they have a youth program as well? Do they also do youth things? Debating between US and Europe. Tough choice. That is a tough choice. Neighboring universities Go Club. Texas in the summer. Oh, yeah, it's going to be pretty hot. It is going to be hot. If you get to come, you get to see Mr. and Mrs. Clausius. Genuinely a pro, says PWC. To see us. She's over here leaning over my shoulder. Any other comments or questions about Congress? And if not, we can move back on to talking about Go in general. Mrs. Clausius is also here if you wanted to ask her a question. You were admiring me while I was doing an interview.
Very cute.
I'm very cute. I'm very cute doing my interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I was going for cute, but sure.
Well, it's cute to me.
Cute to you.
You're very professional.
Yeah, professional. That's what I'm going for. Professional sounding.
You being professional to me is cute.
When's your next stream?
Probably after we move.
Probably after we move.
I'm hoping to get to stream a lot.
The big difficulty thing with streaming is you can't stream while I'm streaming.
Tried that before.
Because that's quite difficult to do.
Sorry.
Finding bad at basic to center.
I have a general goal question. The question is, I am
Hello,
bad
Remy.
at finding basic center Tsujis.
Okay, first off, Sumego Dragon. That's going to be like your quick answer. Second off, you need to realize what center Tsujis are, right? So what is the center? It's the middle game, right? A lot of it is going to be cutting points. What comes from cutting points? Well, you have the ability to capture cutting stones, nets and ladders. We talked about this early on stream, how many nets and ladders get missed just as general tactics. A lot of times they don't get checked or they don't get double checked and they get misread or just missed in general. So just watching your cutting points in general. Another is you want to bully the cutting stone, right? Because maybe you can't capture it in net and ladder. Well, maybe you could squeeze it, or maybe you can turn it into a weak group that you can attack for profit. So that's how you get squeeze Tsujis. You get throw into Tsujis, which you can link squeeze Tsujis. So you have nets, ladders, squeeze, throw in. I don't have a lot of nose Tsujis, but that's basically another squeeze tactic. And the middle game, when you have a cutting stone versus a cutting stone, that can lead to a capturing race, right? So I think it's just understanding all the ins and outs of cutting stones, and understanding what shapes come out from it, and then practicing those shapes. Hopefully that answers your question. What would you stream when you stream? Are you wanting to stream more D&D or
Go D&D Baldur's Gate, I think.
go D&D Baldur's Gate?
It'd be nice to stream. I think it'd be a lot easier for me.
Oh,
to make
you
things more
yeah,
fun.
you can stream D&D now because everything's moving online,
I might
and
not be
I
able
don't
to
stream
stream.
while you're playing D&D.
Might not be able to stream Sundays. DM's Discord has been freaking. But
Yeah, that'll be important for people's audio to work.
we ended up on a group phone call because Discord just did not like his microphone.
Setting up a good cut. I would say it's not setting up a good cut. It's punishing your opponent's bad cut. But typically you can just attack a cutting point. The trick is timing more than shape. So you want to attack when you're strong with strong connected shapes. So you can attack the cutting point. And if you only get one weak group out of it and they get two, then you're happy. But if you have a bunch of cutting points and then you attack their cutting point, your stuff is going to activate in the middle of the fight, which is usually what goes wrong. That's usually how you get dead groups and stuff. Is because you're attacking from weakness instead of from strength. Unless you're a cat playing with a hair tie, then my cat is playing with a hair tie. What's really funny is we pick up the hair ties, but the cat has gone into the bathroom and found out where they're stored and will get one out of the drawer to play with. So she'll actually steal hair ties out of the drawer. So the first thing I'm seeing is you're trying to defend Moyos. You don't defend Moyos, you attack with Moyos. A Moyo or a framework is controlling a section of the board. If you control it, your job is to profit. Profit is not getting cash. Profit is getting cash and sente. So it's not about blocking it. It's about surrounding something in it as best as possible, or threatening to surround and making 5 points while you're threatening it. That's going to be the big thing. I see many times where students will defend their Moyo or try to make points in Gote with their Moyo instead of attacking with their Moyo. Secondly, for invading or reducing them, typically it's going to depend on the board. It's typically going to be reduction if it's an open center, because you're going to build something while they're getting points, and that something is going to cancel out what they get on the inside. A lot of the times, reduction and getting thickness for points is going to be the answer. For invasions, you just got to go in and invade. That's going to be a life and death problem, so you need to be good at your life and death problems. And then what you're doing is you're just destroying a section of it. A lot of the times when the center is not the greatest thing in the world, then invasion's going to be your best friend, because you don't care about giving them thickness, because the thickness is not really going anywhere. It doesn't have any future. So a lot of it's timing and then understanding how to follow up both invasions and reductions, and understanding what fundamentally you want. Right. That was not something I said, but I have said something else, which is don't try to block your Moyo. Instead, try to attack with it and gain 5 points. Try to gain 5 points in Sente, and you're doing better than if you had blocked 15 points. If you're getting 15 points in Gote, you're doing it wrong. You want 5 points in Sente. 5 points or 10 points in Sente. And yeah, if you can get 20, that's great. The point is you want to make it in Sente. You don't want to make a lot of points in Gote. Because they'll get something and cancel it out. And then you don't make anything. Because it's an exchange rate game, not a points game. Don't forget to switch over the laundry. Levy. Hair ties and cardboard boxes. We did buy an expensive cat toy. We have a cat tower, which they love and playing on, and it also has scratch post, which is saving our bed. We have a cat tower in the middle of the room at the corner of our bed because they used our bed, our very nice bed, as a scratching post, and we did not like it. So we got the cat tower put at the corner of the bed where they've been scratching, and now they're using the cat tower instead, and it is protecting our bed. So it is a very nice purchase for us. Oh, thoughts on the recent Pro controversy? Which part are you referring to? Which part of the controversy? I put it literally in front of where they were scratching, so they couldn't get to the part that they were scratching. I protected my bed by putting a giant thing in front of it. Yeah, which part of the controversy are we talking about? I haven't heard about Game 3. I only heard about the first two. I don't know the third one. Let's say for the rule, I understand the rule. It's there to make it more professional for, you know, the company that's paying lots and lots of money. They want to see a very nice, clean Go board setup. Like, I believe someone got sent home because they didn't have a suit that fit the commentator. So it's like some staff member or something. And they were wearing a button-down shirt. And the company called and said, hey, we want all of our people in suits because it looks more professional. And that person got sent home because they didn't have a suit in their size, and so they couldn't pay them to do nothing. Because they couldn't be on camera if they didn't have a suit in their size, so they couldn't work them, so they had to send them home. So on the one hand, they want it to look very, very professional. That's how the tournament's getting sponsored. It's how they're even able to have money in the first place, is by making these companies happy. Keeping it in the lid of the bowl is a lot cleaner. It's a lot nicer. It's a lot less likely that you're going to lose a stone somewhere else on the board and it's not going to get counted, which would affect the game record and the game result. The downside, probably the only downside, is that if you get a lot of captures, like say a Ko or something, you aren't going to be able to count how many stones it is if it's in the lid. There's not really a good solution for that. So I think there might be a future where you put it in the lid, but if you have to start stacking it, then you can set it to the side of the lid and make them a chains of 5 or something. In my opinion, that would be nice, but that is not a rule currently. Everything has to go in the lid. So I understand the rule. I also understand Kuj getting frustrated because it is a new rule, and already they have to use captures, which they're not used to, because In China, the captures go back to the opponent's bowl. They don't actually keep them in the lid at all, because they don't really need to worry about that. And so they have to remember the captures in their head anyway. So they're not usually worried about it. But so he's at a little bit of a disadvantage because it's different than what he is used to. So putting the stone on the side of the board, I mean, at the end of the day, you're at the top of the world. You've got to follow the rules of the tournament. So that really sucks. And it sucks for him. But I don't think there's any real controversy in that sense. Because if he broke a rule, then you got a penalty. For the second game controversy, the timing of the tournament director stopping it, I know was a big controversy. I think that's just human error. I think they were trying to figure out the best way to handle this professionally, and they weren't intentionally trying to impact the game result. I think you just got to be more understanding that the staff is just human. They're trying their best to follow the rules and give a professional environment. So I think you just got to be more patient with the staff. It really sucks for the ones getting punished. And they were very upset about it and left. But I don't know. I don't really think anyone's to blame. I don't think anyone's really in the wrong. It sucks that a new rule is causing you so much trouble. It's costing you a lot of money. But it also is not fair to blame the staff who are just trying their best to do their job in as professional ways they can. They're having meetings about it. And I think that's the best thing to do is, hey, they were the top players in the world are dissatisfied. Let's have a meeting and figure out a way to make this even better, which they did. So I don't know what more can be said beyond that. I don't think there's anything else that can be done. They're having meetings. They're doing their best to be professional. They're trying to follow the rules of the tournament. The rules given to them. Yeah. Oh, was the third? Was it a different game about that was paused? Let's see. China claims that Beyond lacked sportsmanship at the second game. So is that the one where he pointed it out and got him disqualified? Sorry, I thought there was only 2 games. I didn't realize there was 3 games involved. So, I think they're upset about it, but there's no reason that a player should be faulted for pointing out that the opponent broke a rule. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Some people, like, okay, this is something interesting. At Go Congress a couple years ago, I got in trouble, quote, I got in trouble because I didn't want to punish my opponent for being late. And they said, we're happy that you want to be very sportsmanlike, but the rules exist to keep everything on a certain time limit or whatever. And we just have to do these things this way to make sure the competition runs in a smooth, fair manner. So even though I wanted to give my opponent their 30 minutes, they couldn't do that because then it would have run over and everything else. So they actually told me that they appreciated I was trying to be a good sport, but like that's not how these things work. And so what I ended up doing is letting my time run down as well to match the opponent's, because I just didn't want the advantage. I don't think it's bad sportsmanship to follow the rules. You can be a good sport and do things in a way that I don't want to win that way. But if you don't, that doesn't make you a bad person. Like, lack of goodness does not equal badness. If that makes sense. Yeah, no, the pausing the game at a bad time, I don't really know how you can get around that. That was human error. I mean, they're trying their best to stop the game. I don't know. I really don't want to say that they intentionally stopped it to give their player more time. I don't think that's the proper way is to tell Beyond to seal his move. But did the tournament director know that? If he knew that, then that's his fault. He did it bad. But if you didn't know that, then that's probably something they will learn in the future. That they will do in the future. So yeah, it's probably a new rule that this is how rules are made, is from hindsight. Rules are made with like hindsight. So I don't think anyone necessarily did anything wrong, as long as they learn from the mistakes. If they learn from the mistakes, I don't think anything's wrong. If there was a rule and that there's supposed to be a sealed move when the tournament director does XYZ, and the tournament director didn't do that, I could see it being a big problem. Either the tournament director gets fined, or they have to replay the match and the tournament director gets fined. I can see it being a really big problem, but I don't think that was the case. As far as everything that I know, I don't think that was the case. But if tournament director knew that and he didn't do it, then that's going to be a big issue. People lose their jobs over stuff like that. But I think it was just human error. They're trying their best to be professional, and it was already a controversy. There's a lot of pressure and panic. You got to realize this is the world stage. Countries are competing. So you have millions of people invested in this, and you have to say, hey, this side is at a disadvantage or this side lost. That is a lot of pressure to be under. That is going to be a diplomatic issue. What do you call a foreign affairs people? What do you call foreign affairs people that try to resolve diplomatic issues?
Diplomats?
Diplomats? Whatever. Anyway, that's going to be up to those people to figure out. People with a lot smarter and better words than me. I think that's probably not the best answer. I would say they should say, hey, this is what we think the solution should be. Please have a solution. Please make sure something's being done about it for future matches. But if nothing is being done about it, and they... Hello, Pseudo. If nothing is being done about it, then I guess they're within the right to say, hey, we're not going to send anyone unless you make a rule about this. Ambassadors?
Yeah.
Ambassadors? Diplomats? I think that's going to be a big... I don't know if that would be a controversy as much as a negotiation.
Pasteketa Vokar just followed.
As long as something gets done to improve it, this thing, the way this went, and we make a new rule or something is done to improve the situation for the next time a situation like this occurs, I think that's the best you can ask for, in my opinion. Anything beyond that is just probably just asking for too much. But if no one's making a rule change, no one's saying, hey, the TD's got to seal the move next time, make sure the move is sealed, you got to pause the game on someone's turn, so it's going to suck either way. And I don't know. I don't know whose turn should be paused. Someone broke the rule, so the game has to be paused. We're talking about the controversy of the new rule in a recent match where placing stone outside of the lid, a captured piece outside of the lid, cost a point, 2 points, and then cost the match. And then the tournament director paused the game at a bad timing of the match to point out the ruling, which caused a big controversy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I think humans are humans. That's what I think is it. I think humans are humans, and We just need to learn from our mistakes. Aside from that, I don't aside from that, I think people are just going to throw fits. I think it's right to be. I think it's fine to be upset. I think it's fine to demand something needs to change so this doesn't happen again. But hindsight is much clearer. So I think the TD is human. So can't really fault them for that. As long as they improve it for the next time it happens. But if they don't improve it, then people have a right to throw it. But if they do improve it, then people are going to have to accept people are human. Yeah, no, that I think is not fair. Pointing out that someone broke a rule that everyone agreed to does not make you a bad guy. They're just trying to find a scapegoat. They're mad and he became a scapegoat. That sucks. People love scapegoats. People want to be mad at someone. And at the end of the day, I don't think anyone necessarily did anything wrong as long as there's improvement in the rules for next time. Yeah. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think the consequences in hindsight probably just aren't worth it to him, so he might have regretted doing it. But at the end of the day, I don't think he did anything wrong. Having someone abuse the rules to show that it's bad, I think I've seen that, and I've heard of that in several sports. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It is what it is. I think you should probably bring it up in advance before you abuse it. And if no one does anything about it, then abuse the crap out of it until they change it. If it's within the rules, it's within the rules. I would say there are bad sportsman-like things. Like, for example, OGS dragging out the game. I think that is bad manners, and I think that is against TOS. So that is breaking the rules. So there are things that you can do that may be within the rules that are bad manners, but I don't think we're talking about anything like that. I don't even think the rule is bad. I understand, like, it's coming from, we are sponsoring this event, we want it to look nice. As far as I know, that's probably the pressure that the rules team got. Then the rules team made the rule, and then they're trying their best to enforce this brand new rule. Yeah. People are doing their best, and it sucks all around. No one's the bad guy. That's the thing. I don't think there is a bad guy, and I think that's what ticks people off. Someone needs to be the bad guy so they can be mad at someone, and that's why scapegoats exist. And unfortunately, the player who pointed out the rule, did nothing wrong, became the scapegoat. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just important to be understanding. It's really, I will say, it is really, really frustrating to be in Kuj's shoes, though, because that is a lot of money and prestige riding on a match that broke a brand new rule, or a brand new rule is costing you. It really sucks, right? It's really tilting. But sometimes you're just going to have to take a cold shower and calm down. It really sucks, but yeah, no, I get the frustration. I understand he's rightfully frustrated, but blaming someone for it is not the right answer, I think. The jeans thing. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Magnus Carlsen got kicked out of a tournament because he was wearing blue jeans.
Did he know there was a dress code?
Did he know there was a dress code? I don't know the details on it. No, I think I think that I don't know. I don't know the details on it. He knew there was a dress code, but it was also very selectively enforced. That would tick me off
Yeah.
if they only enforce it on me and not other people. Obviously, like, I would not wear blue jeans if I knew it.
Yeah, if you're doing it out of spite.
Sometimes you need to prove a point. Oh, that meme is funny. I think cheating controversy was a real big controversy. The vibrations and stuff is just funny. There's a lot of fault to be had in several things, I think. Don't break the rules if you don't want to get in trouble for breaking the rules. If you're wanting to prove a point by breaking the rule and say, see, you're getting on to me but not them, I mean, someone has to be the sacrifice, I guess. It's accepted that what was his name? The accused cheater.
I don't remember.
For Magnus Carlsen versus
Hans Niemann.
Hans Niemann. Hans Niemann, that's what it was. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no way to prove or disprove, which really sucks. That's one awful thing with AI is we have no way of proving someone cheated. Yeah. There's no way to know for sure if that was cheating or not cheating, which really, really sucks. His personality's not helping. Probably. It's really funny to watch, but it's probably not helping matters. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I would be I don't know how I would feel. Let's say I got accused of cheating, and then it became a big scandal, and then I got accused of having a vibrator. I think I would find it hilarious. I think I would just find it really funny. Like, I might be upset if I lost the match or something because of it, but like, I think I would find the whole thing really funny. Oh my gosh. I would get like t-shirts made like the vibrations are with me or something with Luke Skywalker. I would do something stupid. I would totally play it up. I would have so much fun with it. I got the vibes. I would totally look. The Social Security office had me marked as a female for 20-something years of my life. I play that up all the time. I love stupid crap like that. It's so funny. I was a woman longer than my wife was until a couple years ago. According to my Social Security office, I was a female for 20-something years, and it never came up. No one ever questioned it. Which makes you wonder, how reliable is this information that is just out there? Dude, that was the cheapest and easiest and accidental sex change that I think's ever happened. People have like had lawsuits for the power that I just had. It was so easy, I didn't know I did it. Oh man, it's so funny. I still love telling that story. It's one of my favorite life stories. Oh man. So yeah, no, I would have totally played it up. I would have had a blast with the memes. It would have been so funny. I will say I feel a little bit bad though. I understand having a easy tilt personality, and then what made it really worse was when he lost to GM. What is the YouTuber?
Levy?
Levy. So he lost to Levy because Levy wasn't seeing his opponents, so he's playing really good. I was like, that has to suck. Because you know the amount of pressure, the amount of people that are watching, you know that your match is going to get turned into a YouTube video if you lose. That sucks to play against. If you can have a sense of humor about it, it's great. But it's also really difficult to play some opponents. Yeah. So I can have a little bit of sympathy that your loss is being made into a YouTube video if you lose. So it's a lot of pressure. I definitely get a little sympathy of that. But hopefully the humor of it outweighs the which I don't think it did. I don't think it did. But hopefully you can laugh it away. That's the best thing to do, is just laugh it off. No, legit, I actually was concerned my marriage might not have been legal for like a good 5 minutes. I was like, hey, are we gonna have any issues with this? This is Tennessee. I don't think we have same-sex marriage.
But they were actively in the middle of trying to reverse it. And that's why it was scary.
Yeah, we weren't sure if our marriage was gonna be annulled, which would have really sucked for paperwork. It was like genuine concern for a few minutes there. Oh, that's fantastic. Could you please link to my Instagram account in your video? That's great. That's the kind of humor you need. It goes back and forth. It depends on the day. There are courts that go back and forth about this. So yeah, it really depends on the day. We were married a week ago.
Currently it is legal.
Currently it is legal, according to my wife. They are trying to get that reversed. There's always someone trying to do
I
something.
don't know if they're currently trying to, but when we found out, they were trying to get it reversed.
More than 5 minutes.
Did you say we only got married a week?
I meant it as an expression, and I'm assuming they're being sarcastic.
Okay.
I don't think they are literally meaning that we got married last week.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think have a good sense of humor. That's the answer to a lot of things. Uncle Iroh, man. Uncle Iroh. That is the therapist to my life. Okay, I am keeping you from work. I am sorry. We've been talking, and I've been keeping my wife from going to work. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream today. It was nice hanging out and talking. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the interview. Who's my favorite Go player? Shuzaku for the Hikaru no Go. But otherwise, I don't know.
Not me.
It's not my wife. I'm sorry, it's my wife, guys. My wife is my favorite Go player. I love you.
Yay.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke. I'll give you that one. It was a good joke. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Adios.